You know, my wife and I, when we went on our first cruise, when we were much younger, it was an 11-day cruise, and I gained 11 pounds. I swear, right before we left, I had weighed myself. When I got back, I weighed myself, and it was 11 pounds. So pizza, 24 hours is what they had, and I had an awful lot of pizza. Anyway, we've got a great lineup tonight for our first presentation. Welcome to the stage, Cardon Ellis from Ward Radio.
All right. Okay, yeah, the intro music's pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. I paid a lot of money for that. I want to welcome on the stage my family really fast. I like to start things out with some high energy here. Who's a fan of the Ward Radio merch? Okay, awesome. Who wore Ward Radio merch to this event right now? Yes, stand up right now. He is War in Heaven veteran, decked out, and stripling boomered out. So we're gonna give away some of this. I brought some merch here. It's cold in Utah right now. Who's from a cold state? Okay, cool, really fast. What is Hayden Paul's brother's first name? Jackson, excellent, that's easy. Okay, that's an easy one. What branch, I want a stripling boomer to answer this question. Do you guys know what the stripling boomer shirt is? In front, it's got muskets and trowels. Muskets and trowels. So for stripling boomers only, what branch of the military did they serve in? Okay, I heard that, very enthusiastic Marines. Oh, get that back to her. Ryder might have to throw this next one out. Who's a familyist? Familyist? All right, go give that one to the one that just screamed. Elizabeth, toss that to her right there. And then Ryder's got another familyist one. Who here has more than 5 children? Okay, there was a very enthusiastic woo, and you deserve it after getting 5 children. Good job. And then finally, 2 more stripling boomers here. Elizabeth? Actually, no. Who here came the farthest? Who's Canadian? Canadian? Okay, both the Canadians get one. Throw those out to the Canadians. And who actually remembered to read their scriptures on Sunday yesterday? Oh, I didn't bring enough ties. You don't wear a tie, but this is a brave new world. You know, we're doing all kinds of gender fluid stuff now. You can wear a Ward Radio tie to church or adorn your husband with it. Ryder, why don't you toss this tie out to her? And last one of a political bent is, do you guys remember when Barack Obama's chalk painting took the world by storm? Well, he was copying Joseph Smith and his 1844 candidacy. I think some people want it. Really fast. Who can name one aspect of Joseph Smith's political platform in 1844? Your hand went up first. Anti-slavery? All right, we'll count it. Ryder, throw that to our friend right there. And then the last, oh gosh, we got a lot. We might have to do this at the end because I wanted a 3-minute intro. You just look enthusiastic. Good job. And orange shirt. Are you a Gen X or you look a little bit too young to be a boomer? What are you? You, orange shirt. I can't see you. What year were you born? What year were you born? That counts, 1964. That counts. You're a stripling boomer. And then the golden calf. Or the golden goose, right here. Who here's been divorced and it was their fault? Oh, that didn't work. Okay, that didn't work. No, I'm totally just kidding. Savage, that was pretty funny though, and I just came up with that one right now. Let me see. Who here can yell "Go and Do Travel" the loudest? I heard somebody loud over here, so I think that was you. You're lovely. Take it. It's a large, extra large. Oh, looks like he got it. I'll still hook you up with one, though. I remember your face. You both get one. Now you get one. See? Look what honesty does for you, Timmy. You know. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Hit me up afterwards. It looks like I have more merch to give away. And thank you to my daughter, my lovely wife, and my son, Ryder. So, was that fun? Okay, cool. Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it. So now, all right, time to get down to business here. I hope this thing works. First things first, I want to give a big fat shout out to Go and Do Travel. No, in all honesty, guys, I get approached and asked to sponsor things all the time, or have sponsorships on my show all the time. And I have a pretty hard and fast rule that I only sponsor things I use myself, or I like, or think have an actual usefulness. And here's a little bit of a backstory. I'll try and do it fast because I know we don't have a ton of time. When's my out? 3:45-ish? Okay, cool, awesome. 3:45. I was on the Go and Do Travel Gospel on the Nile tour, sitting next to, on the bus, I was sitting with Greg and I was sitting with Brian, and we were traveling to go to a bus along the Nile, and I was very impressed with everything. The acumen, the historical knowledge, what I was learning. I just remember thinking, I want as many people to do this as possible. Let's sponsor BYU students to come out here and to experience this. Unfortunately, those that need it the most are the youngest, and they have the least amount of resources. All of us here have testimonies of the gospel. We're pretty well convinced, you know, that's why we came. But there's others that aren't, and they need this, and they were amiable to this idea. They're like, this is great, we love it, we want to get the message out as much as possible. And he said, I've always wanted to do an LDS podcaster cruise. And it was sitting next to Greg and sitting next to Brian that the idea wasn't born, because Greg had already thought it up. But it was catalyzed. And I said, you know what? I can help. This is how I can help. I have a lot of friends. I'm not the only one. I have a lot of friends. Let's make some phone calls. And that's where the idea for what ultimately would end up being called Wavemakers 2025 ended up happening. About 9 months ago, we started seriously putting our heads together and saying, let's call these people. And fortunately, these people showed up. So big shout out to Jasmine, to the Stick of Joseph, to Jacob, to Dave, to David Boyce, all of the above for coming. And big shout out to you guys, because you were the risk takers. This is an unproven maiden voyage of Wavemakers, and you guys are like the first generation, you know? You're like the people that moved into Staten Island in 2017 before it was cool, you know? So thank you so much to Go and Do Travel. They're super professional, super helpful, and it seems like y'all are having a good time, right? Okay, cool, awesome. Well, I'm not, because I've been stressed out of my mind getting ready for this, but hopefully afterwards it's gonna get better. So, no, I'm just kidding, I am. So a little bit of word business. Oh shoot, I'm supposed to be speaking lower, and I'm supposed to be relaxing my vocal cords, because I just got approved from vocal surgery to do this tour here. So if I'm speaking a little bit kind of raspy to you a little bit afterwards, it's because I'm trying to rest my voice. I want to correct the record spoken by Hayden and Jackson Paul earlier. Evaporated milk does taste good. Okay? And it was a purposeful purchase. And my wife will attest to this. I'm a little bit of an odd duck. Here are some other culinary decisions I have made that I do enjoy, and you should try yourself too. Before you boil hot dogs, if you cut a slit on the side and you suck the juice out, hot dog water also tastes good. I have a deviated septum. I understand now that I am in the minority. Also, my friends in college said I was weird because when I would open up the can of tuna, I would push down the meat and then I would drink the tuna water. No, too early for that? Oh, okay. Well, I've been doing that for quite some time. So when born and bred on hot dog water and tuna fish, evaporated milk is just a delight. So, yeah. Okay. Also, for those of you that didn't get merch, if you want to check out wardradio.com, I'm giving everybody that was on the boat basically just pass-through cost on merch, 15% off. Just use the coupon code Wavemakers25. And if I catch you on your cell phone during my presentation, you better flip that phone around, and you better be either purchasing merch, okay? Purchasing merch, or taking pictures of me, or I'm calling the toughest Filipino security guard I saw on the ship, and I mean business, all right? Yeah, I'll force you to drink a can of evaporated milk. All right, cool. So anyway, let's get down to business. Whenever I'm doing these presentations, I usually try and talk about the W5. For millennials out there, you might remember there was a show on Nickelodeon back when television was still in vogue. And it was called Nick News W5. And I remember that when I took my first public speaking course, they said you have to cover the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. And we all get used to the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. But sometimes we don't know exactly what order to do them in. And I actually think oftentimes the why should go first. And the why I do what I do is kind of the beginning of my story. This presentation here is my story presentation. So we're going to get to the cool anti-Mormon explosion 48 hours from now. By the way, I didn't come up with that name. I told Greg that he could name my presentation. I told him what the nature of my presentation was going to be, and he named it the anti-Mormon explosion. So now I feel like he really overbooked that sale, and I'm going to have to bring the goods. It's a little intimidating. So anyway, my why is very simple. Ward Radio is known very much so for its debunkings. And one of my best friends that I had been best friends for a long time, worked in entertainment with me, was an entertainer. He'd get me jobs, I'd get him jobs. We were very close. Had him come live in my hometown. We were close. It was a very deep friendship. I remember one day he came over to a family dinner and said, "I've been reading the CES letter." And I was like, "What? You know that's crap, right?" And debunked one of the things he was talking about and that he read. But unfortunately, he continued down that path relatively unfazed. And within 6 to 8 weeks, getting the telephone pole, Facebook posts about how the church is misogynistic and bigoted, and Joseph Smith was a human trafficker, probably ate the babies. You know, it was that whole thing that happens. And it was a deep and profound interruption to our relationship, where I kind of felt like I never had a chance to fight for my friendship, because that's what woke does. Is it like it almost seems like it converts people overnight. And it was very difficult for me. It was kind of a traumatic experience. And I just remember thinking, like, the CES letter, I'd read it. I knew what it was. I remember only getting 3 or 4 pages, or 3 or 4 chapters deep before I thought, no, I'm kind of familiar with a lot of these arguments. This is just a compilation of some kind of obscure aspects of Mormon history that have been amplified into being something they're not. And frankly, I kind of thought no normal person would take it seriously. But my friend did. And a lot of people's friends did. Who here has a friend or an immediate loved one who has gone inactive and they have cited specifically the CES letter because of it? Okay, I am loath to give Jeremy Runnels this much credit. Who here, for some reason, did that person turn really toxic? Yeah, it's kind of sad, but that was one of the most immediate byproducts of that era. And I just remember thinking, this cannot be. Loss of a friend is one of the worst things somebody can go through. not the worst thing, of course not, but is one of the worst things somebody can go through, and I thought, I gotta fight this. So, that was a little bit too early. So, yeah, they're pretty cool, aren't they? Yeah, it's awesome. I'm not telling you how. But anyway, that's what got me into apologetics. I started a YouTube channel called Mormon Think Tank. That didn't really take off too much. There wasn't a lot of resources out there for people that want to engage in apologetics. However, I ended up calling up Fair Mormon because I was trying to interview some of their experts. They ended up calling me the very next day asking if I wanted to engage with them in some video content creation. That ultimately ended up in a show called This Is the Show, which you guys may know and remember, which ultimately got taken down. Birthed Midnight Mormons, ended up birthing Ward Radio. Now here I am at Go and Do Travel's Wavemakers Cruise. So we're gonna go over all of that pretty soon, but that's the why. The why was because I had one of my dear friends go inactive, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, at least the way it went down with me. And if anti-Mormonism is a part of that, then I want to fight anti-Mormonism. So, we all on the same page here? Okay, cool. So, now we go back to the regular W5s. Who, what, where, when, why. Who am I? I'm Cardon Ellis. Nice to meet you. If you don't know who I am, just a dude with a microphone. And I got a history of I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, all right? For a long time, I was actually an actor. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, okay? This is actually a short film that I produced and acted in with Will Rubio and Lincoln Hoppe. And a lot of those kind of Mormon actor guys moved to my home ward in Los Angeles, California, so I've done music videos with Kirby Hayborn. Every Mother's Day, you know that music video that he posts, Mommy, I Love You? Have you seen that? Mommy, I love you. That music video, it's like a punk rock music video talking about how much we love our mothers. Yeah, if you look closely, I'm the bassist with blue lipstick on. Yeah, that's me. So anyway, I love acting with my friends. I used to do some modeling when I was in New York. Here I am as a cop in a short film called Selection Day. In that process along the way, I met my wife, Brittany, who is a supermodel. You may recognize her from Victoria's Secret 2019. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gassing her up. I'm glazing Brittany right now. But I did meet Brittany in the process. And no, that's not a harem. I've actually had people ask if, like, are you one of those polygamists? You know, I was like, no. This is actually just some colleagues of mine. Because I started producing video content for hair and beauty companies. So for a long time, I produced commercials, social media, and stuff like that, which led me into a career in radio, which was super fun. My very first show, The Cardon Ellis Show, was that right there. This photo was when I looked like Jackson Paul. And yeah, actually, I'll be honest, I took a modern picture, and then in the prompt, I said, please take this photo of Cardon Ellis and make him look like Hayden and or Jackson Paul. And then it gave me that skinny, handsome thing with a jawline, and I said, I will take it. And then that was my first gig at AM 1220 KHTS, which led me to forming Midnight Mormons and Ward Radio. And every once in a while, if you're driving through Los Angeles County, and you tune your band to FM 98.1, you will hear me and some of my shows there. I was a host of Problem Solver Politics, and now I actually take influencers to Israel. A couple of guys in the room here have been contacted about that and gone with me there. This is my family. Brittany Ellis is my wife. You might recognize her from the Women of Ward Radio. Ryder Ellis is my son, and Elizabeth Ellis is my daughter. I've genetically tested them. They are mine. And I'm just kidding. And I do a lot of that. Please don't take offense. By the way, if I go too far, just raise your hand. You know, you don't have to storm out. It's fine. Talk to Greg. And yeah, we're a tight-knit little family. A lot of my, I had always had a strong testimony before this incident, but I will give you a little bit of a bigger insight into the why I do what I do. All of 2017, I lived in Children's Hospital of Los Angeles because my daughter Elizabeth was diagnosed with a very aggressive brain tumor called choroid plexus carcinoma. Unfortunately, most children that have it find out when it's far too late. And we actually had a doctor who said, and I do believe that the Spirit acted upon this woman, I don't know what's going on, but my spider senses are tingling, so go get an ultrasound. 36 hours later, we're rushed to an emergency room, and we begin what would be a laborious process of 6 rounds of chemotherapy, 2 surgeries, the whole 9 yards. I have held my daughter when she has stopped breathing. Excuse me. And in that moment, Nishi said, you stare into the abyss and the abyss stares back at you, but what he doesn't say is how that abyss changes you. And I can guarantee you, everybody within the sound of my voice, if you ever question what your Father in heaven thinks of you as a father on earth, I can tell you, I did not care about how expensive she had been. I did not care about how many times she'd thrown up on me, what her diaper situation was like, what amount of time she had cost me, what gigs I wasn't able to go on while watching her, or so on and so forth. I simply thought, oh no, I didn't have a chance to tell her effectively how much I loved her. And that was the longest moment of my life. Now, fortunately, the nurse screamed help. A bunch of other nurses came, and she was indeed revived. It ended up being just a secondary aspect of chemotherapy. But I can tell you your Father in heaven loves you no matter what history you have, and is infinitely aware of the infinitely small details of your life. And he operates in our lives so much more than you know. My daughter got cancer so early, she hadn't even really been able to go to nursery. She was just so young. I hadn't really actually begun her religious education. We'd been to church, of course, and she had gone to a couple of nursery meetings. But when she came home, our family had a true blue, dyed-in-the-wool religious experience. She was at her mother's house, my wife's mother's house, basically. And the family was putting up pictures. And they were kind of like redecorating the house. And shortly after she had acquired speech, we were putting up the photos, and that traditional picture of Jesus that floats around Mormon rooms, comes up. The one where he's in the red robes, the guy painted him. There's a church video on it. It's inside our scriptures. It's not the Carl Block one. It's the other one. I'm forgetting the... yeah, that guy. What's his name? Del Parson. That sounds like a Harley Davidson rider's name. And he looks like an archaeologist. You know what I'm saying? So... yeah, but it's his. It's his. And what's so interesting was, actually, no, it wasn't the Del Parson one. I'm sorry. That's the one where he's wearing red, right? No, it's the one where he was in white. I can't remember. But anyway, she's putting up a picture of Jesus. And my mother-in-law hands it to her, says, put this on the wall, who is this? And she says, I know exactly. Not exactly, but she said, I know who this is. She said, it's Jesus. But he doesn't look that way. And she said, his clothing is different. And when I was in the fire and chemotherapy, anybody that's gone through it, there's a type of chemotherapy that actually causes Redmond's disease. And we think that's what she was talking about because she had such a bad reaction to it. Turns your whole body red. She said, when I was in the fire and I was drowning, he rescued me and he took me out of the water. And then he played with me. And he was there when my daddy was there. And I could see him. And I could see him behind my dad. And I couldn't tell him, Daddy, turn around. But he was there. And in her limited speech as a child who is already developmentally delayed by nearly a year because she sat in a bed getting chemotherapy for that long, she was able to identify her Savior. The veil is so thin with children. And every once in a while, you get these golden nuggets. I thoroughly believe that out of the mouth of babes, the truth will be established in the last days. But my daughter saw the Lord and knew that he was her Savior, helping her, and that he, at some point, was over my shoulder and definitely helping me. And so I know for a fact our Father in heaven loves us, that Jesus Christ is real. Nobody can ever take that from me, and I want to share that as hard and as fast and as long and as effectively as I can. And that's the biggest why of Ward Radio. When you finally take everything to its logical conclusion, it's about spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ and how that binds us together, how the atoning sacrifice of Jesus Christ creates that bond between us. And what I notice is that's actually the number one thing that anti-Mormonism results in, is a breaking of that bond, a tearing of the social fabric. So that was our long time in the hospital. I guess like Greg, we all got a hospital money. It's a sucky way to get a testimony, but it's real. So I'm sorry if I veer verbose. Please show me how much time I have, Greg. You're going to have to be keeping on top of me here. I want to do a Q&A at the end of this, so if you guys have any questions, you can ask me, because I've noticed some very common threads amongst a lot of the parents here about youth, and I'd love to address those. So if I veer verbose and we can't do the Q&A after this, as part of this, I will gladly meet up with any of you elsewhere, wherever we can, and do it there. So anyway, let me just burn through this really fast. So who are we? These are the boys, all right? And check this out. This clicker has a sick laser. Look at that. Woo! Wait, where's the laser? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, see, there we go. Rock on. See that? I got a laser. Dude, I'm like Steve Jobs in 2011, man. Look at that, dude. Okay, so this is us. Dang it, lasers don't work on LED screens. Ah, gosh, I was overzealous, you know. But anyway, here's us. I am the host of Ward Radio, guy that started it. And to my left is Jonah Barnes here. Who's bought his book? Who loves his book? Okay, awesome. You also reminded me I got to do something. Jonah's kind of going through a tough time right now, because he's kind of getting canceled online. And, you know, the haters and the jealous people are going after his book and whatnot. So I just want to make sure that he feels the love. So right now, I'm on the stage, Jonah. We're going to send him a message, all right? Those who have bought his book and like his stuff, please tell Jonah Barnes how much you like him. Show him some love. All right. See? We love you, pal. Hey, Brittany, can you get their money? No, I'm totally just kidding. Okay, I want to make sure that recorded. Did it record? Please, did it record? Got to double check, because I tried this once, and it didn't record. I think it did. Yes, it recorded. Okay, awesome. Excellent. Thank you very much. Right next to me, this guy, I will be my own laser pointer. It's one of the beauties of being 6'5". This guy right here is Brad Whitbeck. You guys might recognize him as King Mosiah in the church films. That's Quakuel, Tikla Fight. Oh, not a girl, sorry. Luke Hansen, and our very own Jacob Hansen with Austin Falter, our editor. And all of these guys have helped me out in one way or another on the show and appear often. And it's just a barrel full of monkeys. I also have some secret episodes that I've done with Hayden and Jackson that I'm holding against them until this is over. No, I'm just totally kidding. But we're a big group of guys that have a lot of fun. And yeah, those are the boys. The girls are mostly our wives and friends. Who here watches Women of Ward Radio? Okay, cool. It's growing in popularity. We got Riley, Brooke, Erica, Rachel, Megan. It cut off Charlotte. Bummer. Oh, and Tikla, and Brittany, and Joy. But a lot of these people are our wives and friends, and they're adding a fresh perspective to the gospel. When you have a bunch of capable married men with lovely, attractive wives, you can make a show out of it. Savannah, where are you? Where are you? Why haven't you been on the show? Join the club. Yes, now. Have Jackson put on a wig too, and he can show up. He's so handsome, you know. Okay, cool, awesome. And then we also actually have not just the women, but we've got swim move. Oh man, hold on. There we go. All right. We also have the youth, Young Ward Radio. So, wrangling teenagers, that's always a blast. Yeah, exactly. And then what are we? Continuing with the W5, we just do everything. Everything we possibly can get our hands on. We have a Discord channel. We're developing right now some films. We're working on a million other projects, but every single one of them has one thing in common, and that is community creation. As our church officially has divested from a lot of the community creating aspects of our faith, I have tried to augment the ones. One of the ones that I'm most proud of is actually our Discord channel. I kind of view it as a faithful response to ex-Mormon subreddit, which is probably one of the most toxic gathering places of ex-Mormon and anti-Mormons. It's fallen out of vogue lately, but that's our response to that. Also, I'm creating a collectible card game where I could speak forever about what projects we're doing, but that's not part of the story, and we'll talk about that later. So anyway, who here doesn't know what Discord actually is? Anybody know? Okay, cool. Hit me up later, because Discord is actually one of the social media platforms that is, believe it or not, most accessible to older folks. Oftentimes, the senior couples kind of feel like social media is not for me, because it's a young person thing. But Discord is text-based, and because of that it's text and typing-based, and it's actually most effective on a laptop. We have some amazing older members of our Discord. Who here uses Discord a lot? I know we got some techies here, right? Okay, cool, awesome. True or not true, some of the older couples on Discord are the funnest people to interact with and deal with, because they have the best life experiences, wisdom, they're funny, a little bit vulgar, you know what I'm saying? Just they don't care anymore, you know what I'm saying? It is so fun. Join our Discord. We're gonna talk afterwards, all right? So, what is Discord? There we go. Keep going. That's what it looks like. And it's super awesome because there's all kinds of different things you can participate in. There's a prayer roll for people that you think might need prayers, testimony meetings. There's conversations on church news, on what happened when people went to conference, cultural issues, complaints. There's a complaint section. I never read it, but it is there, and you can engage in it, you know? Yes, and I do have moderators. But more than anything, we are a YouTube channel. And that's kind of what we're most known for, okay? We do broadcast on Spotify, and we're active on Twitter, and we're starting to expand our Instagram profile, and so on and so forth. But first and foremost is we are a YouTube channel that produces a video literally every single day, excluding Sundays, which I now realize was actually a strategic oversight because so many people are home and I might have to amend that. But anyway, we produce a daily show, have for almost about past 2 or 3 years now, and it's a lot of work, but extremely rewarding, and these are our ethos. We delight in truth, we denounce deception, and we have fun. I have to add something to this because one of the Go and Do Travel Wavemakers here. Where is cruise ship Barbie? She didn't come today? Okay. She said, I love your show because you are the right amount of wrong. And I thought, all right, I can take that and I can run with that. There she is. You didn't raise your hand because you were embarrassed. But y'all have to meet cruise ship Barbie. By the way, she dated Jared Halverson when she was younger. So she's got stories. Also, Jonah Barnes dated Lindsay Sterling before she was famous. Hashtag just saying. So, anyway, Ward Radio is a recklessly faithful podcast, radio program, and media ecosystem dedicated to anything and everything related to the Church of Jesus Christ in Latter-day Saints. And that's what we do, is we talk anything and everything tangential to the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints. But we are most well known for debunking, preferably as close to in real time as possible that we can, cynical anti-Mormon arguments. That's probably what we're most known for. Who here watches Ward Radio? Okay, cool, awesome. What, really fast, just somebody that raised their hand, over here. What's the first video you saw? Hit me, Julie. It was the one with all the women? That was on a different channel. That was me. I'm embarrassed. I've given it up. I've come to Jesus. Oh, never mind. Which one was it? Women in the Priesthood. Okay, with Rachel Patterson. Awesome. Interesting. That's what your algorithm offered you. Over here, what was your first video, David Boyce? Interview with Dallas Jenkins. Okay, I wonder if the algorithm was interested in your Protestant background. What about back here? Oh my goodness gracious, Hayden Paul. His first one was Hollow Earth. Wow. By the way, your presentation was phenomenal. Can we put our hands together for Hayden and Jackson? I have to suck in my gut even just talking about them. You know what I'm saying? I just get self-conscious all of a sudden. Do you see this, Jackson? Do you see this? It will happen to you too. And I hope I get to see it. I'm totally just kidding. So anyway, that's what we do is we delight in truth, denounce deception, which leads us to all kinds of cool adventures and other channels such as Ward Radio Women. There's a QR code. If you guys aren't subscribed, they have their own separate channel right now. So you guys can subscribe to them. And then also Cardon Ellis Adventures. Once a month, I have some kind of adventure, whether it's coming on a cruise ship for going to travel, or whether it's going to Nauvoo, or whether it's all of the above. And we try and create vlogs of those. Recently, I was on Hollywood Boulevard with Elder TikTok with signs that said, "I am a Mormon, ask me anything." And there were some really, really interesting conversations that came out of that. I also oftentimes go to Reed Moon's Rare Books to see rare Mormon and Christian antiquities and books that he has in his collection, which are pretty awesome. And all of those end up there. So that's where we are now. Here's some screenshots of some recent videos that we have done, so you guys get a little taste of what we're like if you don't know who we are. And we do all kinds of fun stuff. Like we just had Shadiversity on, who's a super popular YouTuber, couple million subscribers, talking about what the Sword of Laban actually looked like. Super faithful member of the church in Australia. If you haven't had a chance yet, you should check him out in that episode. In real time, we try and cover as much Mormon news as we can. Unfortunately, one of our more recent episodes that were popular in the loosest sense of the term were live streams dedicated to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as well as the violence in Michigan. So yeah, now you kind of get an idea of what we're like. When I started my channel, one of the ethos that I adopted was actually articulated best by my friend Jonah Barnes, who wrote an amazing book. If you haven't had a chance to read it yet, go to plainandpreciouspublishing.com and get Key to the Keystone. I actually haven't even started his second one, full disclosure, on stage. He's like one of my best friends, and I haven't even started his second book. Because the first one takes me so long to get through, because like one page, I have to like read all the citations and the notes, and then I have to go on Wikipedia, and like he cites the Book of Enoch, so like I have to buy the hardcover version and then go read that and then come back to his. Like it took me literally almost 6 to 11 months to get through Don Bradley's The Lost 116 Pages. And it took me like almost the same amount of time to get through like Jonah's book. It is that intense and that awesome. And anyway, he told me once that one of the best ways he can describe somebody's Christian baptismal covenants is by, with a race car analogy that his father gave him, that when you commit to the gospel of Jesus Christ, you exit the race and you join the pit crew. And you now help other people in their races. And I've kind of taken that very, very seriously. I enjoy helping people get their start. I was very grateful for the shout outs from the Stick of Joseph. Thank you very much. That was awesome. I loved helping get tons of channels get their start. There's lots of people in this room that will talk about lengthy conversations I had with them on Zoom about how to get their lighting correct, how to get their sound correct, what word are you trying to get out, how can I help you, oh, I have a donor that likes the kind of thing that you're engaged in, maybe I'll hook you guys up. And I really think that has why Christianity has succeeded since the time of Jesus Christ and was the single largest motivation to the spread of Christianity was the change of the idea that the strong shall rule to the strong shall be servants. And so in as much as I can, I try and help people, others as much as I can, as though I am in their pit crew. So to get a little taste of what we're like, I have this little video. Although, does everybody already watch? Who hasn't seen Ward Radio? Oh, you haven't? Names, and email addresses. Spam is coming right. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, well, I was gonna skip it, but no, I guess we'll just play it really fast. Just a brief little intro, so you get an idea of. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, hold on. No. Oh, it's teasing me. Oh, I guess I can't play it. Bummer. Oh, well. I guess I'll have to show you afterwards. 5 minutes? Oh, my time flies when you're having fun. Okay. Well, at least I'm having fun. Sorry for the rest of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Oh, dang it, I said you know what I'm saying. I was going to avoid that because I knew Jackson was going to say something about me. But anyway, who, what, where, when. Well, sorry, we got the where now. Worldwide, and this is actually something that was totally wild about my show that I picked up on. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later. There's a Google Drive. Like, my analytics started blowing up worldwide. I was starting to get like 0.5% and 1% in every weird little country I'd never heard of. And I thought, what is going on? Are these members? And then I found out some of them were members, and I was able to contact them. Like, for some reason, West Africans love me. New Zealanders love me. And it's kind of odd to see what kind of niches you develop in the third world. But also, I found out it was missionaries, because missionaries aren't allowed to watch YouTube. But there was an overzealous mom who was literally ripping every single one of our episodes and putting them on a Google Drive so missionaries could watch them. And there was a worldwide Google Drive where people were watching completely pirated, and I am ashamed of that mother. Just kidding. Completely pirated Ward Radio episodes, and let me tell you, I could not be happier. I think that's awesome. The only reason we post on Facebook is actually so the missionaries can watch it. And also our worldwide digital mission, we're probably gonna have a breakout later on during the week where we talk about that. But we were actually the first, we got the first baptisms in the country of Guinea-Bissau for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In a nutshell, we had a Ward Radio digital mission where we would purchase Facebook ads in the third world for pennies on the dollar, while capitalism has completely forgotten these people because their GDP is somewhere around like $8 a year, and that can't buy one pair of Nike sneakers, so Nike doesn't advertise there. These people are children of God as well, so we would buy pennies on the dollar as many Facebook ads as we could for a free copy of the Book of Mormon, and then the volunteers in the Ward Radio Digital Mission would reach out through Discord to verify if these people were real, and then we would send we would actually send the
the referrals to the mission department, but oftentimes these were in countries where you didn't quite have mission presence yet, and it was hard getting follow-ups and so on and so forth. Also, the church didn't know what to do with these high volume of referrals that were coming from people in the Americas for Africa. They'd never seen it before. They didn't know what to do with it, so we finally had to resort to calling the mission presidents directly. And let me tell you, do you know who the most based and awesome members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are? African mission presidents. Dude, those dudes they are next level 40 chess, savage, in it to win it, zealous, awesome dudes. Like every last one of them, I swear, talks, looks, and acts like, who is Elder Brown? Kevin Brown? Yeah, imagine that dude as a mission president. Just imagine how sick that would be, all right? So we called this guy up and we're like, hey, we're getting these referrals in Guinea-Bissau. And he's like, yeah, we don't go up there, but it is within our mission. I was like, hey, if we give you referrals for people who want a free Book of Mormon, will you take them? He says, yes, I'm with my APs right now. They'll get on WhatsApp right now. I felt like I just called in an airstrike to like the freaking Marines, man. It was like so sick. And like an A-10 warthog, just like full of these just based African missionaries that have never been to Salt Lake City in their lives. And we're just in it to win it with the Book of Mormon, cross the border, go up there, and boom, we got the first 2 members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Guinea-Bissau. And from what we can tell, everything's going well. This has gotten all kinds of different permutations. And now my friends Thomas Lumberg and Benjamin, his brother, have taken this idea, put it on steroids, stuck it in an incubator, and created like a monster, an amazing monster called Gathering Israel. That's a 501c3 that is completely worth your time and energy to participate and volunteer in and donate to, that takes that little golden nugget and it just blows its doors off. So I've got like 1 more minute. So I gotta burn. We'll talk about that later. When we do a show every day, that's Brad. And, oh, dang it. This is such a good story. But we're gonna have to save it till later. How much time do I have? 30 seconds. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about This Is the Show later on, but just to give you an idea, I'm not responsible for the name, and there's a whole story behind it. We used to do Midnight Mormons. Our current projects are awesome. And hopefully Jacob's talk following mine doesn't stink. That's all I got. I'll see.
Right. Well, folks, we'll make sure that we get some comic relief in here eventually, right? And a little bit of energy into the amphitheater here.